Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalam ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa ashabihi wa man wala. And today, inshallah we start the actual Thalathat-ul-Usul. And because this is a transcription and it's not really meant to be a book, it's a transcription of a lecture, you're not going to have all of the stuff like you have here at the top of a line, right? And then the explanation, it's going to start to be in the middle of the page, but it'll be bold. The speech of Muhammad ibn Abdul Wahhab rahimahullah should be emboldened, as we see here, right? And then after that will be the speech of Sheikh Abdul Muslim al-Qasim, for those who are trying to read on their own. So he says, فَإِذَا قِيلَ لَكَ, this is Sheikh Muhammad ibn Abdul Wahhab, فَإِذَا قِيلَ لَكَ, so if it is said to you, فَإِذَا, so if or when, قِيلَ, it is said, لَكَ, not قَالَ, قَالَ is he said, قِيلَ is it is said, it's passive, we don't know who's saying it, right? فَإِذَا قِيلَ لَكَ, if it's said to you, مع الأصول الثلاثة التي يجب على الإنسان الحمد لله يحييكم الله يصلح بالكم معرفتها مع الأصول الثلاثة, what are the three fundamental principles التي which يجب, it's obligatory على الإنسان, upon people or upon mankind, معرفتها, to have knowledge or awareness of them. فقول, then say, معرفة العبد ربه, the knowledge or the awareness of the slave of his Lord, ودينه, and his religion, وَنَبِيَّهُ Muhammadin sallallahu alayhi wasallam, then the knowledge of a slave of his Lord and his religion and his prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. هنا تبدأ ثلاثة الأصول. He says here, تبدأ meaning to begin, and he says تبدأ with a ta instead of a ya, because this is a risala. The risala, Thalathat-ul-Usul, risala is feminine, right? Risala, right, is feminine. So from here begins the risala of Thalathat-ul-Usul, right?
Oh, okay. Hunan, he said tabdo. What is that supposed to be?
To begin. Bada'a yabda'u. Bada'a yabda'u. To begin.
Yabda'u.
Yeah. This is how the verb is. Bada'a.
Oh. Wait a minute.
Yabda'u.
Okay.
Yeah, but
where's that at?
This is tabda'a. This is a different form of
it. Okay. But you were saying yabda'a. That's what I'm trying to say.
I said tabda'a here, and then I told you it comes from bada'a yabda'u.
Oh, I thought you were saying, that's why I'm asking. I'm like, wait a minute, I think I see a ta. Okay. But now,
But I said tabda because tabda is feminine. Because risala is feminine with a ta marbuta. I explained that. That's why it says tabda.
Okay, where's risala?
It's not there, but that's why it is. Is if your wife is talking, but you don't say who said it, you would say qalat. Even if you won't say qala, you say qalat. Even if you don't say that it's your wife saying it, you don't mention your wife's name, or you don't say my wife, because it's her saying it. So you would say who said it. So what is starting here is the risala. So we use the word appropriate for risala.
Okay. I didn't see it. I just okay.
Well, usul al-din, and usul is the plural of asl, meaning the foundation, right? Well, usul al-din ترجع لهذه الأمور الثلاثة. وأصول الدين, this is your mubtada, mudaf mudaf ilayh, the fundamentals of the religion, tarji'u, they return. Why is this ta here feminine, the same like this? Ta here, right? This first one is because of risala, right? This one here is because usul is plural, and whenever we talk about something plural, we talk about it in the feminine singular, right? Well, usul does not, there's غير العقل. usul al-din, the fundamentals of the religion, tarji'u لهذه الأمور الثلاثة. لهذه الأمور الثلاثة. It returns to these three matters, these three issues. Umur is from amr, meaning a matter or an issue or an affair. وأصول الدين ترجع لهذه الأمور الثلاثة. The fundamentals of the religion return to these three matters, these three issues, these three affairs. معرفة العبد رب. Okay, الرب. Now, this could be one of two ways. You could say معرفة العبد, right? Or you could say معرفة العبد. Why would I say معرفتي? Because basically this li over here, tarji'u li ma'rifatil abdi, it returns to ma'rifatil abdi wa ma'rifati an-nabi wa ma'rifati ad-din, like this. Or you could put dhammas as if it's a new phrase. It doesn't really matter. It's subjective. How are you seeing how the sentence is being made? It's up to you, right? How do you see how it's being done? How you want to break it down? Some of this stuff is subjective. That's why Sheikh Wasi al-Abbas, he was telling us a story. I can't remember who the Sheikh was, but he was a real strong in the Arabic language. And whenever they would ask him to grade the papers, like stand in for the teacher for the Arabic test and grade the papers, then everybody would get like hundreds almost, because
so he could say it go this way and go that way.
Right. He could see there's a way for it to be this way. I can see how it's that. It's like, so everybody would pass. That doesn't mean that everybody followed the rules, that they were taught.
Yeah.
However, there's a way.
Mm-hmm.
So
it was correct in one form or another.
Right. Even if the student didn't know that, So. So we say ma'rifat al-abdi ar-rabb, rabba, the knowledge of the slave of what? Of his Lord, or of the Lord, subhanahu. Wa ma'rifati an-nabi, right? An-nabiyyi, and knowledge of the prophet. Here it became mudaf ilayh, right? وَمَعْرِفَةِ الدِّينِ الْإِسْلَامِ, and knowing the religion of Islam. These are the three fundamental principles. وَهَذِهِ
Well, now, hold on. You just said at-dini.
مَعْرِفَةِ دِينِ الْإِسْلام.
Okay.
وَهَذِهِ مَذْكُورَةٌ في مَذْكُورَةٌ, because basically هَذِهِ is your mubtada, right? هَذِهِ, and these madhkura are mentioned from that kaf ra, like dhikr, madhkura, right? You could say something is madhkur, mentioned, but hadihi is feminine, so madhkura is there with the ta marbuta, being feminine. Wa hadihi madhkuratun fi hadithi al-Abasi, right? The hadith.
Not a bad sin.
al-Abasi. It's got alif lam.
Oh. Okay.
Right? Radiallahu anhu.
Yeah.
Where he said, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, where the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, it's not mentioned here, Hadith al-Abbas radiallahu anhu, ذاق طعم الإيمان من رضي الله بربا وبالإسلام دينا وبمحمد نبيا. ذاق comes from ذال واو قاف. ذوق, meaning to taste. Right? So Allah says in the Quran, كُلُّ نَفْسٍ ذَائِقَةُ الْمَوْتِ. Every soul shall taste death. Right? The ذوق. So ذاق is the past tense. He tasted. طعم. طعم means comes from ta'ain mim, like food, but it also means here to relish and to savor and to that, you know, that good taste, right? So he has tasted that goodness, or that he has relished that the savoriness of iman, right? Ta'ama has a fata on it because it's mansub maf'ulun bihi, is the object of the verb. He tasted what? Ta'ama al-iman, that relishness. That in English they usually translate it as the sweetness of iman. But ta'ama doesn't mean sweet, like sweet versus sour. It means that good taste, and I guess that's how we say it in English, right? And so they translate it, right? They translate, you know, when you translate, there's something called, or when you read something, there's something called ta'bir, right? Ta'bir, which means expressions, right? And so if someone were learning the English language, right, and they were to be literate or literal the way we try to be literal in Arabic when learning it, then they would find lots of problems. So for instance, you could see a race car or something, and he shoots out fire out of the back of the, you know, pipes or whatever when he's revving his engine up to take off. And someone says, and a little kid or a grown-up says, man, that's cool. A foreigner would be like, man, fire, what do you mean fire is cool? You know? But that's the way we speak. We use phrases like that. The Arabs are going to do the same thing. They're going to have certain phrases that, you know, are not going to make sense to us. You know what I mean? You know,
No.
if we take them literally. So we have to learn the ta'bir. We have to learn how expressions are used. And so ta'am al-iman means the good taste, or however you want to translate it. But in English they say the sweetness of
Very
iman.
good flavor.
The flavor, you know, the real good flavor of iman, the savoriness of it. But sweetness of iman in English sounds perfect, you know, in English. So ذاك طعم الإيمان مضاف مضاف إليه. He has tasted the sweetness of iman, men, whoever, radiya, whoever is pleased, whoever he was pleased, basically, past tense. He was pleased. Billahi, with Allah, Rabban, as a Lord. And Rabban here is showing you how he's pleased, or what he's pleased with Allah as, a Rabb. Wa bil Islami deenan, and with Islam as a religion. Wa bi Muhammadin sallallahu alayhi wasallam nabiyyan, and with Muhammad as a prophet. Right?
Okay.
Wa fi Sahih Muslim. Huh?
So that's like a Rabban.
Rabban is a Lord, right?
Yeah.
But
why is it like a Lord? Because you got like
because it doesn't have alif, it doesn't have alif lam.
Because it got the tamween. That's what kind of threw me off, making it seem like it's plural.
No. Tanween means it's indefinite. So that's why it's a Lord, a religion, a prophet. But the fathas, what they're doing is showing us how we are pleased with Allah, or what we are pleased with Allah as, what we are pleased with Islam as, right? What we are pleased with Muhammad as, right?
نعم نعم
وفي صحيح مسلم وفي صحيح مسلم, and in the Sahih of Muslim, من قال حين يسمع المؤذن, من قال حين, whoever says, حين means at the time of, يسمع المؤذن, when he hears the mu'adhin, when he hears the mu'adhin, وأنا أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأن محمدا عبده ورسوله رضيت بالله ربا وبمحمد رسولا, وفي رواية, and in a narration, نبيا, meaning وبمحمد نبيا وبالإسلام دينا, and with Islam as a religion, غفر له ذنبه. So this hadith, من قال حين يسمع المؤذن, whoever says when he hears the muadhin, when he finishes the adhan, he says, وَأَنَا أَشْهَدُ أَنْ لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا اللَّهُ وَحْدَهُ لَا شَرِيكَ لَهُ, and I bear witness that there's nothing worthy of worship except Allah. He's alone without any partners. وَأَنَّ مُحَمَّدًا عَبْدُهُ وَرَسُولُهُ, and that Muhammad is his slave and his messenger. رَضِيتُ بِاللَّهِ رَبًّا, I am pleased with رَضِيتُ, right? Here, men radiya, whoever is pleased. This is past tense, but for he. Here, this is I, raditu. I am pleased with Allah as a Lord. Will be Muhammadin Rasulan, and with Muhammad as a messenger. Will fi riwayah, as a prophet. Nabiyan. Will bil Islami dinan, and with Islam as a religion. Ghufira lahu dhanbuhu, he is forgiven his sins. Ghufira lahu dhanbuhu, his sins will be forgiven for him, basically. Dhanbuhu, his sins will be forgiven for him. Whoever says that. Hina yasma' al-muwadhin, whenever he hears the muwadhin, ghufira lahu dhanbuhu, his sins will be forgiven for him. Li'anna, and how do I know it's li'anna and not li'an? Because after it is a noun. Hadihi. Hadihi is a noun. It's a pronoun. Hadihi usul ad-din. Li'anna hadihi usul ad-din. With a fatha on the lam. Why? Because no. Daqiqa. Li'anna hadihi. No. It's a dhamma. Because it is the khabar. Hadihi is your mubtada, but it's affected by li'anna, right? So that would be mansub. However, usul is the khabar marfu, usuluddin. Li'anna hadihi usuluddin. These are the fundamentals of the religion, the basis of the religion. Ma'rifatu Rabb wal Nabi wal Islam. Knowledge of the Lord and the Prophet and Islam. And he says,
where you going?
Right here. I'm going to read that sentence.
Okay.
وَالْأُصُولُ الثَّلَاثَةِ, and the three fundamental principles, here, Thalathat-ul-Usul. They are the three fundamental principles. I don't know why he said it like that, right? هذه الرب والنبي, and this is a typo. It should be Nabi with a bat there. Should say Nabi. The bat is missing. Wal Islam. Right? These are the three fundamental principles. Maybe he's just saying Usul al-Thalatha, Thalathat-ul-Usul, because it has two different names. But really, we already explained that Thalathat-ul-Usul is this book, and Usul al-Thalatha is another book for children. And then there's another third book which is written for like illiterate people that can't read that you don't go into all these details with them. You just make them repeat after you. It's called talqeen, which you make them repeat after you. Like when you tell the person to say La ilaha illallah on their deathbed, this is talqeen. Like you say La ilaha illallah, you try to get them to repeat after you. So there's a book called Talqeen, which is dealing with these three things, which are for like, illiterate people, right?
Mm-hmm.
So why did he say al-usul thalatha here, Thalathat-ul-Usul? Maybe he's just saying that it's basically the same thing. هذه الرب والنبي والإسلام. Any questions?
Yeah, two.
Bubble.
Muadhin. Muadhin. I don't see it.
Okay, 1 second. Yeah.
I'm not used to seeing that word Muadhin. Because I see the move. I see the. Yeah, there you go. Let's do that too far. Oh, okay. See, I was thinking the move is like, what calls it a wow. Muadhin.
No.
But it's Muadhin.
It's not
okay.
Muadhin, it's Muadhin.
Okay, I got it. Muadhin. That's why I couldn't get it. Okay. Muadhin.
No.
And it's a scepter over the thigh.
No.
Side. Okay, and the second one is that word down there, rawaya. That's another word you said for prophet.
No, Nabiyin is prophet. Wafi riwaya.
Yeah.
In a narration, like like Rawahu Muslim.
Yeah. That's what I think. That's why I said what that. So, because I thought you said they added that Nabiyin.
No, I said Wafi riwaya, and in one narration, Nabiyin.
Yeah.
And that's what it says. Wafi riwayatin, and in a narration, Nabiyin.
Okay, so that's what the colons mean in a narration.
No, Wafi riwaya means, and in a narration.
Oh. Okay,
instead of Rasulin, it says Nabiyin.
Okay, that's what confused me. All right. Yeah, you're losing me there.
I'm gonna have to give you a break, man. I'm losing you easily today, man.
No, I'm just trying to pay attention to more of the thing, because I kind of got these words down, without the vowels,
Right.
Pretty much.
Well, read them for us, and you want me to erase all the vowels off the screen then?
I read off my paper anyway.
Okay.
فإذا قيل لك ما الأصول ثلاثة التي يحب على الإنسان
التي أولا التي not الذي.
التي.
No.
Did I say التي? Okay.
No.
التي.
يحب, but يجب.
I said يجب.
No, go ahead. Now you
okay,
did. Go ahead.
يجب على الإنسان معرفته.
Oh, there you go.
معرفتها. فقل معرفة العبد ربه ودينه ونبيته محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. I said ونبيه.
Okay.
محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. Am I making the wrong mistake? I need to slow down. هنا تبدأ ثلاثة الأصول وأصول الدين ترجع لهذه الأمور الثلاثة. ثلاثة. معرفة العبد ربه سبحانه ومعرفة ومعرفة النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم ومعرفة دين الإسلام وهذه مذكورة في حديث العباس was it
Abbasin,
Abbasi?
just Abbasi. No.
Abbasi. That's the one you told me about, because it's got the alif lam. Abbasi or Abbas, radiallahu anhu. Faqa, mal imani من رادي بالله ربا وبالإسلام دينا وبمحمد بينيا وفي
Oh, Nabiyan. I'm sorry.
نبيا
There you go.
وفي صحيح مسلم من قل حين يسمع المؤذن وأن أشهد أن له إلا
وأشهد
أن لا إلا وأن أشهد أن لا إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأن محمدا عبده
Muhammadan.
ورسوله. That's Muhammadan,
Always, yeah.
because of that alif there, Muhammadan.
Well, that as well, but because Muhammad
And
has tanween on it, so what would make it lose the tanween? Nothing.
okay. And Muhammadan, that's why they be saying. So, well, I guess that people just do that. When you hear them read and stuff, sometimes they just say Muhammad, they don't say that Muhammadan. Okay.
Right.
وأن محمدا عبده ورسوله رضيت
Not radiyatu. Raditu.
رضيت okay رضيت بالله ربا وبمحمد ورسوله
Will be Muhammadan what?
ورسوله
No, not wa. Will be Muhammadan
رسوله
Rasulan or Rasula. No.
رسولا. Okay.
But not a wa. There's no wa in front of it. Just be will be Muhammadan Rasula.
Did I say what?
Yeah.
وبمحمد رسوله وفي رواية نبيا وبالإسلام دينا أثير له ذنبه. That would be ذنبه, right?
No, then buhu.
ذنبه, okay. لأن هذه, because that's a noun, أصول الدين معرفة, I could say معرفتي رب.
That
Just the
marifati
different.
Rabbi, because it is mudaf ilayh.
Okay, ربي.
No.
والنبي والإسلام والأصول الثلاثة هي ثلاثة الأصول هذه ربي وربه.
Arab.
No, ربي.
No, just Arabu.
رب. Okay, why is that?
Nothing.
Because it's by itself?
Yeah, there's nothing in front of it. Arabu.
Okay. رب والنبي والإسلام.
When Nabiyyu, same thing. Arabu when Nabiyyu
Okay.
wa والإسلام.
والنبي والإسلام.
نعم. نعم.
Okay.
Hamad left us, huh?
Yeah, see.
Then he says, وهي, basically, الأصول الثلاثة هي أول ما يسأل عنها العبد في قبره. هي أول ما يسأل عنها العبد في قبره, and they are the first أول ما يسأل, of what he will be asked about, عنها, about, right? العبد في قبره, the slave in his grave. من ربك, who is your Lord? وما دينك, and what is your religion? فيقول, so he will say, ربي الله وديني الإسلام, right? فيقولان, so they will say, meaning those two, يقولان, them two will say, meaning Munkar and Nakir, right? Doesn't say that here, but that's what he's talking about. The two angels will ask you in your grave. فيقولان, so they will say, ما تقول في هذا الرجل, what do you say? في هذا الرجل, in this man, meaning what do you say about this man, not in this man, right? What do you say about this man? الذي, who or which, bu'itha, was sent, not ba'atha, he sent, but bu'itha, he was sent, fikum, amongst you, right? In you, but basically amongst you. Kama fi musnad al-imam Ahmed. Kama fi musnadi al-imami Ahmad. Ahmed is a word that is mamnoon min as-sarf, right?
Ahmad. And so, like, what's in the Musnad of Imam Ahmed?
Yeah. That's what you're going to find. Now, Hamad.
Now, this was just two things. I didn't say all three. And I guess when that last question.
No, he said, من ربك وما دينك وما تقول في هذا الرجل الذي بعث فيكم. Okay.
Yeah.
فواجب على المسلم أن يعلم ما هي هذه المسائل الثلاث. ما هي هذه المسائل الثلاث. ليعلم, this li is like and, it makes the present tense verb mansub. ليعمل بها. So it's obligatory upon a Muslim that he knows ما هي هذه المسائل الثلاث. What are these three issues? ليعمل بها, in order to act according to them, in order to act with them. لتكون بإذن الله, so that he can become with the, so that they will become, the takun, meaning these masail thalath, that they will become bi-idhnillah, with Allah's permission, sababan, a reason, from seen back, right? Sababan, a reason. Hiya, meaning them, he's mentioning them again. Fi thabatihi, fi thabatihi.
عليكم السلام ورحمة الله.
في ثباته, in his being established or firm, fil qabr, in the grave. So for wajibun ala al-Muslim, it's obligatory upon the Muslim and ya'lama, that he knows ma hiya hadhihi al-masail thalath, what are these three issues? right? لِيَعْمَلَ بِهَا, in order to act according to them. لِتَكُونَ بِإِذْنِ اللَّهِ سَبَبًا, so that they will be, with Allah's permission, a reason. Hiya, meaning them again, referring back. Fi thabatihi, in his being firm or strong. Fil qabr, in the grave.
Kabari.
Qabr. Qabri. But you don't have, but you start saying qabr.
Yeah, kabari.
Right. Okay, Hamad, you were missing out on us. You want me to go back up a page and let you read that? Or are you out of commission?
I'm here. Where فإذا لك
Nah, I'll go back up for you. Nah, فإذا قيل لك.
نعم.
Yeah.
نعم.
فإذا قيل لك ما أصول ثلاثة التي يجب على الإنسان معرفتها فقل معرفة عبد ربه ودينه ونبيه محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. هنا تبدأ ثلاثة أصول، وأصول الدين ترجع لحد معرفة أبد ربي سبحانه.
No.
معرفة
Hamad.
نعم.
معرفة العبد الرب. The knowledge of the slave of his Lord, basically, right?
نعم. معرفة العبد رب سبحانه ومعرفة النبي الإسلام، وهذه مذكورة في حديث العباس رضي الله عنه: ذاق طعم الإيمان من رضي بالله ربا والإسلام دينا وبمحمد نبيا صلى الله عليه وسلم. وفي صحيح مسلم: من قال حين يسمع مؤذن وأن أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأن محمدا عبده ورسوله، رضيت بالله ربا بمحمد رسولا. وفي رواتي نبيا وبالإسلام روايتي وفي ورايتي نبيا وبالإسلام دينا غفر له ذنبه. لأن هذه أصول الدين معرفة رب والنبي والإسلام. والأصول ثلاثة هي أصول رب ونعم، وهي أول ما يسأل عنها وعبد في قبري: من ربك ومن دينك؟ يقول رب الله ودين الإسلام، فيقول في هذا رجل الذي بعث فيكم، كما في مسند الإمام أحمد. فواجب على المسلم أن يعمل ما هي ذلك، يعلم ما هي هذه مسائل ثلاث، ليعمل بها لتكون بإذن الله سببا في ثباته في
Get that part there.
Abdullah, when Hamad is talking, is he breaking in and out for you, or just as on my end only?
problem on your end, because I hear him.
Alhamdulillah. Go ahead, yeah, read just this part.
Okay, وهي أول ما يسأل عنها العبد في قبر.
Al-Abdu. The Abd is the one being asked, right?
Okay, عبد في قبره قبره من ربك وما دينك فيقول ربي الله ودين الإسلام.
No, وديني الإسلام. وديني,
okay,
my religion.
Okay,
Rabbi Allah, my Lord is Allah. Wadini al-Islam.
He said wadinil.
No, not dinil. Dini.
Okay.
It's long. It's got a ya there. Dini.
Okay. Wadini al-Islamu fayaqulan.
Fayakulani. Like Habibatani. Habibat Karimatani. Yaqulani. Them two will ask.
Okay. فيقولان ما تقول في هذا الرجل الذي بعث فيكم كما في مسند الإمام أحمد فواجب على المسلمين أن يعلم ما في هذه المسائل الثلاثة ليعمل بها لتكون بإذن الله سبنا هي في ثباته. سببا.
There you go.
Is that what I said the first time?
Maybe I wasn't clear. That's why.
سببا. Okay, سببا هي في ثباته في القبر.
No. Okay, we can read this next little section. It's not as long. It says, it's from there to there, right?
Where?
From here to here. That's what it is. فَإِذَا قِيلَ لَكَ مَنْ رَبُّكَ. So if it's said to you, who is your Lord? فَقُولْ. Then say, Rabbi Allah. My Lord is Allah. الَّذِي رَبَّانِي. Who did this Rabbani? And he's going to explain what it is, right? So I'm going to leave it just Rabbani. The one who did this. Sheikh, this is Muhammad ibn Abdul Wahhab right here.
I'm saying, yeah, I know what I'm saying, but what is that saying? Al-Lati Rabbani. Who is this Lord?
No. Alladhi Rabbani. Rabba. Rabba is a verb. Rabba. Rabba. Alif Maksura. It's a verb. Rabbani. He did this. Rabba for me. Rabbani. Wa Rabba Jami al-Alameen. And he did this. Rabba Jami'a al-Alameen. With to all of the worlds. Bi ni'amihi. With ni'amihi. Ni'am is the plural of ni'ma. Ni'ma. Ni'ami is plural, right? Ni'am. So, he says, وَرَبَّ جَمِيعَ الْعَالَمِينَ بِنِعْمِهِ. And he did this, Rabba, to all of the worlds, with his ni'am, with his favors, his blessings. وَهُوَ مَعْبُودِي. And he is my object of worship, my ma'bud. As we said, maf'ul When we talk about it all the time, we say it all the time. Every day we say it. Maf'ulun bihi. Maf'ulun bihi is the one who it's done to. It's the object. So a lot of times we can take that form, maf'ul, the one it's done to, and we can replace the fa, ayn, lam with other letters, other roots. So for instance here we have replaced it with ayn, ba, dal. So we say ma'bud. Right? Ma'bud. Meaning my object of worship. This is the object. Maf'ul is the object, or what it's done. Right? Ma'bud, my object of worship. So I can also say for instance, the word taraka means to leave, right? To abandon something. I can replace maf'ul with matruk, meaning something that was left. Something that was left. You know? Abada is to worship. Ma'bud, something to worship. Taraka, to abandon or to leave. Matruk is someone that you can, or something abandoned or left. Right? In hadith sciences, you're talking about a man who is matruk, meaning because he was a liar or he had a weak memory, so they left him. They didn't take his narrations. He's matruk. Right? You have, for instance, dafa'a, which could mean to push, or here we'll say it means to pay, like you push away the bill. So this is to pay something. You have something madfu'. Madfu' means it's paid for. Right? It's already paid for. So you can take this maf'ul. So ma'budi means my object of worship. Right? He is ma'budi. Wa huwa ma'budi, and he's my object of worship. Laysa li, there is not for me ma'budun siwahu. There is not for me a ma'bud, an object of worship, siwahu, other than him, besides him. Siwa is besides. Right? This alif maksur, when I put this ha on it, becomes an actual alif. Siwahu. Other than him, there's nothing. I don't have any other object of worship. Sheikh Abdul Muslim al-Qasimi says, وَالْمَرَادُ بِقَوْلِهِ رَبَّانِي وَرَبَّ. See, this is a mistake in the typo. وَرَبَّ. Right?
Rabba.
Rabba, just like here. He's quoting him. Right? So the person who typed it quoted it wrong. Rabbani wa rabba, this word right here. Jami' al-alamina bi ni'amihi. And the meaning, or the marad, the intention, the meaning, the same thing. The meaning, the intention, the behind his statement, bi qawlihi, or with his statement, Rabbani. He did this Rabba for me and all of the worlds with his favors. Ar-rizq. He means ar-rizq. He means provisions. Right? Rabba. Right? And he's going to explain it. وَكَذَا الْمَرَادْ أَيْدًا بِالْهِدَايَةِ. وَكَذَا, and it means like and also or something like that. Kada, and it means and that and like that, something like that. Al-marad, likewise, al-marad, the intention, أيضا, is also bil-hidayah, with guidance. So the meaning of Rabbani wa Rabba Jamil Alameen means he provided for me and gave me guidance. That's basically what he's saying. Ar-rizq wal-hidayah. Right? Al-marad bi qawlihi Rabbani wa Rabba Jamil Alameen bi ni'amihi ar-rizq. وكذا المراد أيضا بالهداية. This is a Saudi thing here. وكذا. Even though it's Arabic, it's a Saudi thing. وكذا. Right? And likewise, or something like that. Al-marad the intention, أيضا, also, بالهداية, with guidance. So when he says, Rabbi Allahu alladhi Rabbani, my Lord is Allah, the one who Rabbani, meaning he provided for me and gave me guidance. Wa Rabba Jamil Alameen, and he provided and gave guidance to all of the worlds, or creation, bi ni'amihi, with his favors and blessings. Wa huwa ma'budi, and he is my Lord, or my object of worship. Wa laysa li ma'budun siwahu, and I don't have a ma'bud, a thing that I worship, other than him. Wa amma al-kalima at-tarbiyah. He says, wa amma, as for the kalima, the word, at-tarbiyah, which is a new word. Tarbiyah, like today, if you want to go to the Ministry of Education, you go to Wizaratul Tarbiyah, the place of Tarbiyah. They call it education, right? Then he says, as for this kalima, at-tarbiyah, Sheikh Al-Albani used to talk about it, at-tasfiyah wa tarbiyah, right? First you need to purify people, and then you need to educate them and raise them upon what's right. First you tasfiyah, you purify them from all false narrations. This is why he was so, bent on, in a good way bent on, making everything sahih or hasan or da'if or mawdu' and stuff like this, because he said we got to purify our books from these false narrations and these weak narrations, and then we can educate the people. But first we got to get these bad thoughts out of their head, right? So amma kalima at-tarbiyah, this word at-tarbiyah, هذا متربي تربية الإسلام. He's just using words here. Mutarabbi, the one who is being, given this education. Tarbiyat al-Islam, right? Tarbiyat al-Islamiyya, Tarbiyat al-Islamiyya, this Islamic education. Wa nahwi dhalik, and like that, similar to that. Nahwu means similar to there, right? Dhalik. Fahadihi kalima, then this word, right? And this should be an alif lam here. Fahadihi kalima, then this word, and this should have an alif lam up here as well. Amal kalima, as for the word at-tarbiyah, right? As for the word at-tarbiyah, huh?
What you have now?
Here. Al-kalima up top should have an alif lam as well.
Okay.
As for the word at-tarbiyah, right? Well, also, فَهَذِهِ الْكَلِمَةِ, then this word, haditha, from ha, dal, tha, which means new. This is a new word. This kalima, haditha, it's new, right? You don't find it in the old books, they're saying. Right? وَالْمَرَادْ بِالتَّرْبِيَةِ, and the intention بِالتَّرْبِيَةِ فِي الْإِسْتِلَاحِ الْعُلَمَاءِ. Istilah comes from Sad, Lam, Ha. Right? This thought is originally a ta from the form of the verb it's in, right? But because of the Sad, it's hard to say istila and go from a Sad to a ta, soft, so they make it into a hard one, right? But if you're going to look this up, you're going to look up under Sad, Lam, Ha. Istilah. This means like technical language, right? Technical terminology. That's the word for it, terminology. In the terminology of the ulama, fi istilah al-ulama, in the terminology of the scholars, laysa al-murad bihi التوجيه الحسن. The intention is not with it التوجيه الحسن, like to give good guidance. Tawjih from wajh, right? To face, like to put someone on good guidance. That's not the meaning of it. In the original meaning of the word, a tarbiyah is not meaning to give good guidance like tarbiyat al-Islami and all that, right? Innama al-marad, the meaning, the intention is a taghdiyah. A taghdiyah comes from, we had this word before, but not very often. Ghain, dal, alif maksur or ya. Taghdiyah, meaning nourishment. Nourishment. And other than, and similar to that. Right? وَنَحْوِ ذَلِكَ, and similar to that. So the meaning is nourishment. Meaning, the original word tarbiyah is like from the word rizq. Like Allah is the provider and the sustainer for everything. So it doesn't necessarily mean Islamic education. Right? That's what he's saying here. It doesn't necessarily mean Islamic education when we talk about tarbiyah. Although that's what we talk, that's when we, a lot of times when Al-Albani talks about it and people talk about it today, that's what they use. But in the original form of the word, لَيْسَ الْمَرَادْ بِتَوْجِيهِ الْحَسَنِ, not that they guide them towards good or face them towards good. وَإِنَّمَا الْمَرَادْ التَّغْذِيَةُ وَنَحْوِ ذَلِكَ. Rather the intention or the meaning behind it is nourishment and similar to that. وَهُنَا رَبَّانِي, and here Rabbani, the one who provides for me, yani razaqani, meaning he Rabbani, I'll use this word. And here Rabbani, yani it means razaqani, he provides for me. Wa razaqa jami' al-alamina bi ni'mihi. Wa razaqa, and he provided jami' al-alamina bi ni'mihi, with his favors. So basically he just went through all that to tell you what he meant by the word Rabba, wa Rabba, Rabbani, wa Rabba, Jamil Alamin. Questions?
Not in the word.
So you read for us, Abdullah.
وإذا قيل لك من ربك فقل ربي وأبدله الذي ربني ورب الآلة بنعمه وهو معبودي ليس لي معبود سواه المراد بقوله
بقوله. Come on, man. We had this word 1,000 times.
بقوله.
نعم. والدليل قوله قول. We had والدليل قوله تعالى 100 times, 1,000 times, man.
Well, I see the why, I just think, dumb. Okay. بقوله. Okay. بقوله. رباني ورب جميع العالمين بنعمه ورزق وكفى
الرزق. It's a noun. الرزق.
Okay. الرزق وكفى المراد أيضا بالهداية. بالهداية. You say that right. وأما, and you say it's going to be Alabama, right?
وأما الكلمة, نعم.
Yeah. وأما الكلمة التربية هفا متربية
متربي.
متربية طري no, تربية الإسلامية ونحن ذلك. ف آه، فهذه فهذه الكلمة حادثة، والمراد بالتربية في اصطلاح
نعم.
اصطلاح العلماء
نعم.
ليس المراد به به 2G. That right? 2G?
توجيه.
توجي.
توجيه. نعم.
Okay, if you look at the توجي. الحسن. وإنما المراد تخفية ونحن ذلك. وهنا رباني يعني رزقني ورزق جميع العالمين بنعمه. That's it.
طيب يا حماد، inshallah, he might be busy or something at work. Inshallah. So you got a break tomorrow, and then we'll meet again the next day, inshallah ta'ala.
Inshallah.
سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.